Welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Elliott Wave update for ICP. I'm going to be focusing on the smaller time frames, but just a quick recap. Off our significant low, we had a 5-wave move to the upside. As per guidelines, we had 5 waves in our third, which was the strongest wave. And our fourth wave was a flat correction. This is called a running flat. It's a 3-3-5. Where our B makes a higher high and our C wave protects our A wave. And you can see we got our 5th wave after that. Now, other guidelines we used on this was beginning of wave 1 off of our wave 2, extended off the top of our wave 1 to target our 4th wave pivot, which you can see it hit the top end of the channel. That's where we like it. We can also use our RSI. Our peak RSI was the third of the third, which is where you want it ideally, and the most volume. All right, so after that, we have a completed 5 waves, which is a larger time frame wave 1. Think of this wave 1, but on a larger time frame. So our next move we're looking for is our third, once this is completed. Now, standard retracements is the 50 to the 61.8% retracement of the entire move. So you put on your fib tool, we're looking for this zone for a correction to be complete. You can see we got our 3-wave move to the downside. We got the 618. That's where I got my entry here at the 618. Stop was at the 66. It's called the golden zone. And off this correction, we had a WXY, which is a 3-3-3. Two corrections tied together with an X wave. So we had an ABC zigzag for our W wave. We had a triangle for our X wave and a zigzag for our Y wave, double zigzag. Off of that, we had our pivot. As you can see, we're just on the edge of our channel to the downside. So once we break through this, we want to see a move above, correction on top, and then we can finally get that big move. Now, targets for that, as per Elliott Wave guidelines, is the 1.618 extension of the entire larger wave 1 off of wave 2, which is up at $150. So potentially a pretty large move coming. Now we're going to go to the smaller time frames and talk about this move here. Okay, so we're looking for 5 waves up on a microwave 1-2. Microwave. So off the low, we had our wave 1 and 2. This is a diagonal second 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Second diagonal 1 and 2. Our third wave, we were looking for the 1.618 extension of this second wave 1 and 2, which you can see we hit to the tick. After that, we were actually expecting our 4th wave in this area of last video, but we got it a little bit higher. This ended up being a diagonal for our wave 5 in the third. And interesting enough, we did come to our standard targets off our larger 1-2 for our third wave. You can see we hit the 1.618 extension. So it didn't look like we were going to get there, but we ended up getting there. I can remove this. So where does that leave us now? Okay. For our wave 4, invalidation of wave 4 is overlap with wave 1. I don't expect us obviously to get even near there, but we have to at least know that price. Wave 4 cannot overlap wave 1 if this is an impulse, and that's at 764.70. So that's absolute invalidation where this is the wrong pattern I am tracking. You can see we're respecting our pitchfork. This is a Schiff pitchfork. Seems to be respecting it well. And right now we're targeting our 5th wave in blue to complete a wave 1. Now, target for that, if the 4th wave is complete, I took beginning of our wave 1, the length of our wave 1, extended off our wave 4. That brings us up to $12.03. That's the 1-to-1 extension, which is right in our zone. This is the area we expect a 5th wave to complete. between the 200 and 2.236 of wave 1 off of wave 2, as long as we don't get extensions. So as you can see, this has pretty much been the ideal setup. Very nice. I like that we even caught up to the 1.618 here. Ended up getting a extended fifth wave here just to catch up to the 2.618. And right now we're either complete our fourth. So areas we look for a fourth wave is between the 236 and the 50. Ideally we hold between the 236 and the 382. And huge probability shift below the 618 retracement of that, the wave 3. So right now it looks like we have an ABC as a zigzag, but what you have to keep in mind is, since we only have 3 waves, this can turn into multiple patterns. Now, things we expect in fourth waves are triangles, flats, and as well as running flats. So either this is the end of the correction in a zigzag, and we just got a shy retracement, which is fine, and we just go up from here, or we get some sort of 3, 3, 5, or 3, 3, 3 if it's a WXY. And all that changes is our fourth wave gets moved over here, and we'd be targeting most likely a little bit higher because our fourth wave would end up being a little bit higher, and we'd be looking for 5 waves up to complete our fifth, and then we'd be look for our larger correction, as this would make a larger 1 and 2. So I'll be tracking this. I'm considering it complete at the moment until something changes, but if we get like a 3, 3, 3, it doesn't really affect my position size. I'll just leave it running. Now, when do you know the B wave is over potentially as an option? It's past the 1.236 and 382. B and X zone, invalidation at the 1.618. So we take the ABC move, put on the 1.236 and 382. That's the area you would expect a pivot. Between 1074 and 1091.8. If you're going to get a larger correction as a flat, this would be an A, B, C. That's the area you would expect the pivot. When we pass the 1.618, 11.21.3, you'd consider it a fifth wave, not a B wave anymore. So that's just how you keep that in mind, so you're not taken by surprise and you're not scared that, oh, this is just going to sell over, it's over, etc. Expect this move. And if we do get that move, we'd be looking for the 1-to-1 extension of A for C. But that's the shape you would look for before getting our 5-wave move to complete. Until that changes, I'm just going to assume it's complete, the fourth wave, but I know to expect that. It's not going to change my stops, anything like that, or my targets. It's just eating up a little more time, right? So everything looks good here on ICP. I would suggest once we get up to this target to either take profit, not financial advice, just what I would do, to take profit, or hedge, which just means go short the same amount you are long. So once we get this wave 2, this whole area is neutral to you. All right, guys, so looking for 5 waves up for our fifth. Target is 1203. Not surprised if we get the flat first and then we come back up. This is the larger channel I mentioned. On the larger time frame, we want to find support above that level after these 5 waves complete. All right, so that's it for ICP. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.